Quilter flying, colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Okay.
Okay, you didn't hear that comment.
You didn't hear the comment we just made because I forgot to. You're supposed to remind
Yeah,
me.
I know, but I wasn't. You distracted me.
So they'll be saying now, no sound, no sound. Watch. They've all watched our lips probably. Yep, there we go. Inez says no sound,
Okay, you didn't hear
and
that.
Barb says no sound. Yeah, yeah, we figured it out. You're supposed to remind
Yeah,
me.
I know.
But anyways, there's sound now, so you'll be okay.
You didn't hear my comment about me trimming my bushes.
Yeah, Walter's been out trimming his bushes. Yeah, and putting up his candies. More about that later on. Yes, you should be able to hear us now, Betty. I just had the mute button turned on and I forgot to turn it off.
Which he does every Sunday.
Which you're supposed to remind me every Sunday not
I
to do
know,
that.
but you distracted me again. So
I know my beauty just
yeah,
it just radiates, doesn't it? Yeah. So let's see who's here and who's not here, because Russ is really not here. He says he was number one up here on the top. He just says, I'm not really here. I'm off being changed for good. Sounds a little wicked. He went to see the second part of Wicked today because it was just released.
He's a fan.
And he is a major fan. I'll probably, I don't know.
I don't know if we'll make it at the make it to the theater.
Actually, at the first Wicked, we fell asleep.
Well, I dozed off for a little bit.
I dozed off for a few seconds to it. Not that it was really boring. It's just that there were parts. I mean, that's probably sacrilege to anybody who's like right into it and that. And I mean, I'm not saying it was bad or anything like that. I kind of nod off. So, but I do have it. We can rewatch it. We maybe should rewatch it again before we go and see the second part, because I've forgotten what happens in it. And all the things. It's a fairly complex story, actually. Mm-hmm. And it is a little on the hard side to follow. I read the first book. It was horrible.
We went to see the play in New York.
The play was good.
When we were in New York.
Uh-huh.
That was quite a long time ago, though.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago, yeah. I was good on stage with it. Well, the movie's good, too. It's just we fell asleep. We're old. Get over it. No, this would not be a good time to insert ads, so go away, YouTube. You're always asking me that. So, that was Russ. Barb is here. And Nina is here. And Gloria. Charlotte. Caroline is here. And Faith. And Betty. We're doing fine, Betty, today. And Susan is here. She hopes that everyone in chat are watching or having a fabulous Sunday. And Julie is here, of course. And Judy. Suzanne. Christine. Inez. Denise. Elizabeth. I just love Elizabeth's last name, Skabernicki. That is quite a name, Skabernicki. Sue Norfleet's here. Hi, Sue. Hope you're doing okay. Let's see, who else is here? Have I missed anybody? Oops, it popped up on me again. I hate that when it does that. Dubrovka is here. Barbara is here. Mona is here. Judy is here. Jeannie Moosley is here. Linda is here. Karen B is here. Jenny. We have a lot of Jennies here. 2947 is here.
Is that Jeannie?
Is that Jeannie?
I think that's Jeannie.
Oh, so it comes up now with 29. Yeah, this thing. Oh, Nadine is here. Bonjour, Nadine.
Bonjour.
Sherry Cook is here. Did I say Judy? There's another. We have a couple of Judys. Judy from Michigan, and then we have Judy Lemos. And Cheryl is here from Southwestern Ontario, and Shadowwind is here. And okay, so we got a lot of people in here today already off the bat. So I guess you people are bored. Nothing better to do. Okay, so I am sure that the Americans are all getting themselves ready for Thanksgiving this coming Thursday, I believe it is. And we know that's a biggie in the States for you. Our Thanksgiving has long been over. It was in the first part of October, and it's not that big a deal. Christmas is a bigger deal. But anyways, whatever floats your boat. So, what have we been working on? Well, I've been working on a few things. Of course, we had a pop-up sew day yesterday, and I managed to get, and why is that doing that?
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, let's see what comes up on the screen there. I don't know what's going on. Things are going to be weird on us today.
You can see a little bit of it.
Yeah, it's coming up there. What the hell is going on? Why are we getting that?
Well, I thought you had that problem before. Remember?
I did, and I don't remember how I solved it.
Mm.
And I don't know why I'm having that problem today. No, it's not coming up. Shoot. Well, good thing I don't have a lot I need on that screen today. I don't understand this stupid thing. Yesterday it was doing weird things too.
So you point your camera.
Well, I
right
suppose
there.
I could, yeah. But anyways, okay, here we go. Here's what I worked on yesterday. It's up there on the design wall behind Walter. It's a Christmas quilt. It's by Chelsea Stratton, and it's called Mistletoe. The blocks are done. There are 12 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3 is 12, right? Yeah. There are 12 14.5-inch blocks, and then there's going to be sashing in between it and then borders. It's not a huge quilt, but it's there. Let me just see if this will work. No. Nope. Don't know why. That is the stupid. Okay, if I shrink that, makes absolutely no difference.
Yeah, no, do it again when you shrink it.
What?
Like,
Do what?
Get out of there because that's a static one. Now try and do it.
I got to find it.
Well, no, don't bring it back up again.
What? You mean do this
Just
one?
hit the button now. What's this up here now?
No, that makes no difference. Well, anyways, so much for showing you any of this stuff. Yeah. Okay, now I'm looking for what I want. Where is it? Where is my... Okay. Well, anyways.
Where's the bag?
What bag? Oh, I can probably show that too. Okay, well, that was with Christmas.
We'll do it the hard way.
We'll do it the hard way. Yeah, there's that. I can show... Yeah, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. I'm showing a picture. We'll show it live. So this is the cardinal one. We showed this on Stephen and Walter Live. Do you want to hold that? Or on So Chatty. So that one was an in the hoop thing, and I'm going to talk. Okay. So I'm going to talk on Idiot Quilter. There was one thing I had a little problem. The hoop popped, but I'll talk about that on Idiot Quilter. But I'm really happy with the final product with it. It's just a small wall hanging. 4 panels. Okay, you can take it down now. And then, if you remember, which you probably do not, when we went to the Netherlands, we went to a market that had fabric and all kinds of things in it, and we found these tapestries, and I found ones that had dachshunds on them, and our next door neighbors, this is not right today. I had this all set up properly, and I don't understand why. Our neighbors next door have a little dachshund. And well, they had one before, but Mocha passed away, and then they replaced Mocha with no. First one was called Mia. Mia, yeah, like Mama Mia. And the new one is called Mocha, cute little thing, and not quite as yappy as Mia was. And I found this tapestry fabric, so I made them a bag out of it. And you see there's 2 kinds of fabric here. One says I love dachshunds. It's boxed. Walter criticized it already because he thought I should have made the corners on the bottom of the bag so the bag bottom would have been
I was trying to figure out how
bigger.
you did the bottom.
Well,
How did you get it so that you didn't have a split in the middle?
Oh, because it's a folded piece of fabric.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably why.
Yeah.
All right.
Jeez. But, it's got nice handles, and it's all lined inside with more dachshund stuff. So, I mean, it isn't up to Walter's high standard.
It's not as deep as I would like it.
It's pretty deep.
No, it's deep. I mean, wide, width-wise. It's not very wide.
Well, I did a 1.5 inch.
Okay, fine.
Actually, I had to make it. If the truth be told, my lining was too small for my bag when I was trying to put them together, so I had to trim off 3/4 of an inch on either side of this part, which meant I'd already had it sewed up, so I had and cleaned the bottom, so I had to pull it all out, and then I had to recut the bottom.
We should teach you how to make a bag.
Well, you had told you that we're supposed to do a tutorial on it, but where are you these days for these things? Yeah, right. A lot of things, but yeah. Anyways, I'm happy with it. I am sure they will be happy with it as well. So we have to get something to put in it, like bottle of wine, some chocolates or something. And plus I made some little 3D printed dachshunds that look kind of like mocha as well, just for fun. So yeah. What are people saying here? Back it up. Where did I leave off? Shadow Wind. Okay. Oh, Betty says she's not bored, just loves seeing us. Well, that's very nice of you to say so. Judy is watching from California. Nice weather today. Not here. It's kind of outside.
Yeah, kind of drizzly actually.
Yeah. Cheryl is here. Did I say hi to Sherry? I think I did. Anyways, I'll say it again. Marjan is here. And Kim from the East Coast is here as well. And I guess she's got the family all there as well. Denise is here. The Inappropriate Quilter is here. Bonnie is here. 2 Bonnies are here. We've got both Bonnies here. Pretty Wall Hanging, just catching up. Dubrovka. Oh, Zaza is the Inappropriate Quilter. That's right.
That's right.
Okay. Zaza says, I made a work colleague a cushion with that panel. Oh, yeah? Oh. I thought it was unique to over there. Guess it's not. Maybe they buy them where...
Yeah, it's probably a popular print. Actually,
Yeah.
when we were in England, I saw that print.
Oh, did you?
Somewhere, yeah.
Oh, well, so it figures.
It's a mass-produced thing.
Yeah. Linda is here. Joanna is here. So, yeah. Anyways, I think they'll like them. So, what's Walter been working on? How far have you gotten the shirt?
Well, I'm still at the same spot I was last week, where I got to put the collar on, I got to put the pocket on, I got to hem it and put the buttons on. I was going to work on it yesterday, but then I got tied up in putting fabric away, and I never got to the shirt.
And how far have you gotten that?
What do you care about where I am with the shirt? It's my shirt.
I know, but actually, it wasn't your shirt I meant. Now I'm talking like you, where you started a conversation that's totally different from what you started with. And I never know what you're talking about. How are you doing with your fabric organization?
It's getting there. It's slow.
Floor is still covered.
Yeah, no, it's not as bad as it was last week. I have to dump the stuff off the shelves on the floor because I don't have anywhere else to put them. And then while I'm putting them back up on the shelf.
Okay. Oh, Zaza is in Scotland.
Mm.
That's nice. We love it when we have Scottish people here. So that's what you've been working on. Well, of course, you've been working on your Christmas decorations, getting those all together.
Yeah, it was a decent day earlier this week, so I put lights up around our garage, and I don't put them around the whole front of the house because I have a problem with heights. So, and even the garage is still like 12 feet off of the ground at the peak, which I sort of tremble when I get to that part.
Yeah, I'm always figuring I'm going to hear
I am pretty careful with the ladder because we have a really good ladder. So but years ago we had a different ladder, and I put it up on. I was putting the lights up, and it was a little icy on the driveway, and the ladder slipped. I didn't.
Oops.
I didn't really hurt myself. I was a little younger then. I remember the neighbor running out of the house.
You bounced better then.
Seeing if I was okay.
Yeah, old men shouldn't climb on roofs, really.
But the new ladder has really good feet on it and stuff like that. And it wasn't icy outside. So
Of course, if we had those Govee lights that everybody's got, or Govee lights that everybody has in the neighborhood, that seems the thing. You guys know about the Govee lights?
yeah, a lot of people have been putting them up in the neighborhood, but it's probably too cold to put them up right now because they're
you have
supposed to be
stick 'em,
warmish
don't you?
to put them up.
They stick or something,
Yeah,
don't they? You know,
you got to stick them.
they look really nice. But a lot of the places around us have them. They've been putting them up as well. So we're suffering from FOMO, you know, fear of
Yeah,
missing
Stephen
out.
should hold the ladder, but I'm stubborn.
Tell you what, Dubrovka, why don't you and Al come down here and you hold the ladder? Yeah, right. And it slides out and falls on
The only
me.
time I'll have them come out hold ladder is if I'm unsure. Actually, I have the ladder I have has special legs on it so that you can move them up and down and on either side so that you can put the ladder on an incline and have one leg longer than the other because our side yard goes down a half a story on the side. So if I put the ladder up on the side, I need unlevel legs. So
Great. That was probably more information than anybody cared to know. There we go. Okay, so that's what you've been working on. And tomorrow, Walter is going out for lunch with the girls. Yeah. So they're all getting gifts. I made them. I did the bags.
I didn't ask you to
them.
do the bags, but it was nice that you did that.
Uh-huh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I'm just buttering you up because I want my new quilt wall. Before I put out the Christmas decorations. And alert about Christmas decorations, I am going to start doing them next weekend. So just a handy little reminder for you to book it in to your schedule.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, so speaking of events and things. All right, so sewing with me, Stephen, on Wednesdays as usual. So hope to see you there. And if you're new, you've heard me say this before, but if you're new around here and if you want to get together with a lot of other like-minded people, I'm having trouble with my tongue. It's getting caught. Then Wednesdays is a good time. You don't have to be there the whole day, and you can come whenever you want to come for it and stay as long as you want. But right now, you probably have some projects for Christmas you might be working on where you could use some time to get caught up, and that is a great time to do that. And we have a good time. Pop-up Sew Day was yesterday, and we had a good turnout yesterday for that, and that was nice to see. And everybody was working merrily along on things. I got a fair amount done too, as I already pointed out to you with that quilt that I'm working on. And Walter did join us, but I don't know what he was doing. He kept disappearing off the camera.
Because I kept going to the kitchen because I don't have a flat enough table for my cloth. So I went over the kitchen counter to be when my fabric was a little bit lumpy.
Oh, okay. So there you go. So yeah, it was a good day at the Pop-Up Sew Day, and in a bit I'm going to talk about some possibilities, some other coming up events in the next month. So Chatty this week, if you saw it, we talked about color stress. That conversation was generated from things we have observed in our local quilt store where people stand and stare at the fabric for hours because they're like frozen, so they don't know what to pick for a pattern that they're working on. And I think there's a lot of people that suffer from that. It's not that scary. And so we were trying to take some of the scariness out of it and also to highlight some apps that some people might find helpful or whatever. Bottom line of yesterday's discussion was basically if you just trust your gut with it, and you'll be able to pick the colors you want. You don't have to worry about what other people think. There's no quilt police, so they say. I don't know if that's true, but anyways, so that was yesterday's discussion. Ooh, I got the hiccups. Discussion. So before we move on here, just to see if anybody else has come in. There's Sweet Granny's here, just listening and soaring Christmas gifts. There you go. Like I was saying, come to a Wednesday sew day or whatever, and you can sew to your heart's content. And she says, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And Inez says, we have motion lights that shine on the house and path to the house. However, I'm like someone drunk when they're on, trying to walk. Oh, and Dubrovka says, I would love to hold the ladder for Walter. I do it here all the time because I hate anybody on it. Because I hate anybody on it and falling off. I think what she meant was she hates the idea of anybody falling off with it. Either that or she just puts people on a ladder and that she doesn't like and pushes out from under them. Whatever. Oh, I forgot to change a Nightbot. I don't even have it. So ignore the thing that says Saturday, November 22nd. That has passed. I am not doing well today on this stuff. I had too many things I was working on at once. Pat's here. She's just joining in. Well, hi, Pat. Glad you're here. So what's been happening in the past week? Well, so I went to the dentist on Monday for a cleaning, and I didn't get the troll, which made me very happy. I got the other one, the little skinny thing.
Is that the dark-haired one?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
The toothpick. Yeah, she's always very, very nice, and I like her. In fact, I like her so much that when she made my next appointment,
I like her better.
When she made my next appointment in April, I said, can I make that with you? And she says, oh, yeah. I says, good, I do. I want to. Because the little troll, I don't know what she is.
I don't mind her.
Well, she's pleasant enough, but I don't know. She gets in there and she's...
Yeah, no, she usually digs for gold.
And the thing is, I don't trust her. Because she's the one that turned around and said to me, oh, well, you could...
Yeah, she's high. She's
high for the points.
Yeah, she's trying to push you to come more often.
She says, well, your insurance covers it, you know. Well...
Yeah, but you gotta go, which is a pain in the butt. Then we do have insurance. Like, I mean, our health insurance covers certain things, but it doesn't. But it doesn't.
Dental. Our universal health care is not universal when it comes to dental.
Well, there is a government plan that we can
well, you got to be dead or a kid.
But we have private health insurance, and it pays 85%. So you still got to pay 15%.
Yeah. So, and they seem to up their prices because my little cleaning the other day cost $175.
Yeah.
Whereas the last time I was in there for the cleaning, I think it was about $160.
So you still have to pay the deductibles. So.
Yeah. With it all. So yeah, like easy for her to say. It gives me a great deal of stress, as I've said before. I do not like going to the dentist, but I go to the dentist because you need to go to the dentist. But I question this whole thing about the teeth cleaning thing.
I did. I was lax at one point when I got ticked off at my old dentist, and I just sort of stopped going for a while, and then I finally said to Steve, I gotta go see the dentist again. So I went to his dentist, and I hadn't gone for a few years, and then they cleaned my teeth, and they said it was about the same length of time as they normally do, and they said, oh, your teeth aren't that bad.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think it's a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you probably should have your teeth cleaned. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but do I need to have it done every
4 times a year?
3 times.
3 times.
But she would like me to come.
Yeah.
For it. Oh, you can have this many units. However they figure that out.
I've got it that I'm only going every 9 months. I'm not going anymore.
Well, that's what I used to go once a year because that's what through my work, what they covered. Then the benefits got a little better and it was every 9 months. So I'd go every 9 months. And then I was doing that for a while, and that's when she finally came up with this, well, you should come more often. Then they tried to scare you. Well, your gums are receding.
You're getting old. Your gums your teeth are all going to fall out.
Yeah. I'm very conscientious about my teeth. So, yeah. But on the other hand, there's always that doubt. I mean, they're the professionals, right? They're like a doctor. You kind of trust your doctor because you have to. Because...
Yeah, I know, but it's bad when your doctor says, oh, I've never seen that before.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But anyways, I like this one. She's a little bit more gentle. She's thorough. I mean, I'm still sitting in there for a while with it, but you know, she was more thorough. Now, the next time I go in, the dentist will be giving me the checkup as well. So that's going to cost me next time. And who knows, probably the next time I go in, it'll be, oh, I see you haven't had x-rays done in...
Or they get you to have that spin around your head x-ray.
I haven't had that one in years.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if they still do that one. They used to do that. That was something new. Years ago, they did that orbital thing. But I haven't had that done in, like, long time. Years.
My mother, I never knew my mother with teeth.
Oh, yeah.
She always had false teeth. She had all her teeth pulled when she was 36, and she had me when that was when I was born.
No. You knocked all her teeth out.
I knocked all her
Yeah.
teeth out.
Well, my parents had bad teeth.
My dad was okay, though. My dad was sort of like me, a couple of missing teeth.
But, I mean, it just, my mother especially, no, as she got older, and I knew that's enough incentive to go. And anytime I think about not going or canceling an appointment, I think of my mother and I go, nope, I'm going. But anyways, I don't know. You know, I looked it up on the internet. How often you should have your teeth cleaned. Well, you know, the funny thing is, they're all saying, well, at least every 6 months, if not more. And of course, who puts that out? The dental associations with it. You can't find a honest answer. And I would like to know. And what is it that they're really getting? They call it plaque. And they get in there with their little picks and they're scraping forever.
Yeah, they tell you you're not supposed to pick your own teeth, but then they bring these metal instruments in and scrape the crap out of you.
Yeah, so you know, like I really do question the dental thing because they're smooth. In this office, everything works like clockwork, right to the point of billing and whatnot, everything, and it's just they are a slick business, and
in Canada they are.
Yeah, and they make
they do because everybody has most people have insurance plans,
and they're not regulated.
Yeah, they charge quite a bit.
Yeah, like just walking in the door costs you $100, and then from there it just goes.
You always can tell which car in the parking lot's the dentist car. It's the nicest one there.
The nicest one there. Yeah, always. Pam's here from Minnesota, and Kim Davenport. And let's see. Barb says, my grandfather who died at the age of 99 still had his own teeth. What shape were they in? Well, there shouldn't be any reason that you shouldn't be able to keep your teeth. But, you know, they always want to upgrade you. Like, Walter had a tooth that they looked at, and they were talking about an implant at one point.
Yeah, I got a missing tooth up at the top, right? And, but I'm not teethy when I smile, so I don't smile. But anyway, so it's not that noticeable when that I have a missing tooth. Actually, I have two now there. But
he doesn't open his mouth in a windstorm, it whistles.
So it started off that they were going to give me an implant, and talked about giving me an implant, and then it started off that it's going to be $4,000 to put an implant in. And I thought, well, maybe that'll be worth it. Then the $4,000 became $5,000. Then it became $6,000. Then it became $7,000. I don't know where it was going to stop. And I said, they said I could get an implant or I could get a bridge put in, right? And then I said, or I could get a partial denture. And then I said to them, or I do nothing. And then when I said I do nothing, that wasn't an option. Well, you don't want that, they said. And I said, well, why not? Well, people are going to see that you don't have a tooth there when you smile. I said, I don't smile.
Well, plus, it's back far enough that...
Actually, it's my front.
Oh,
but I've
never noticed.
I'm not teethy when I...
Toothy, yeah.
When I do smile, so...
Yeah, so anyway, so he had it pulled.
I had it pulled,
and then
I didn't do anything.
And then, when you had it pulled, wasn't there a little problem?
Well, the price increases were suddenly now I needed bone grafting and all this other stuff, and it just kept going up from there. So,
So, but then you had another problem with it when he pulled it.
oh no, that's the other one that I had pulled.
Oh,
I had one
how many
pulled,
teeth you
and
got
then I
left?
had the
One?
one next to it pulled, so I don't
Oh,
have two
so
missing.
so it didn't feel lonely. I don't know. What?
Yeah, so I had one that was loose. It's loose,
A loose tooth.
loose tooth. And I went to the dentist and I said it was bothering me, and I said I think I need it looked at. So he says, "Oh," he says, "you got a crack in it. I got to get it pulled, right?" So he went to pull it, and I said I didn't want to pull it, but anyway, he had to pull it, and went in there, I yanked, and it was like quick. And I said, "Wow, that was quick." And
And then he went, "Oops."
he says, "Oops."
That is something you never want to hear your doctor, a surgeon, or a dentist say is "oops."
Oops. He basically, it broke in half and pulled the top out and the bottom, and the root was still in there. So then he sent me to a dental surgeon, which assessed me, and he had to dig it out.
Yeah. Well, at least, but he didn't.
Actually, the guy that dug it out was good. So
Yeah, but our dentist there that it had the problem, he didn't charge you for that.
no, he didn't charge me for the oops.
Good thing with that. But yeah, Diana's here. Hi, Diana. Now, Denise has got a question. Why the price increases, Walter?
Oh yeah, it said they kept deciding on different things that they had to do in addition to the implant.
It's always something, isn't it?
And the one thing I didn't like was the guy that they had in the specialist that they had that would do the implant. They had the regular dentist didn't do implants, but this specialist guy would do it, and I didn't like his attitude.
Why? What was?
And
his
it just kept the price increases. I have since talked to a guy that I know that had a couple of implants done, and he said, you can negotiate with them because he said they told him 7,000. He ended up getting them done for 5,000.
Well, I have heard that you could negotiate with the dentist, especially if it's not covered by your insurance or whatever. If you
my
you don't have
insurance doesn't cover implants, so
yeah. I don't know. See, this is what I mean. It's a real racket. It's kind of like when you take your car in for an oil change, and then they tell you that you need all these other things done to it as well, and yet your car was running fine. So yeah, same thing with dentists. Sorry if anybody out there has a relative that's a dentist, but I don't trust them. But they're a necessity. They're like doctors. I don't really trust doctors either. God, I sound like my grandmother. When did that happen? Well, whatever. She never trusted a doctor. Of course, she died of cancer. She left it too late. Zaza says, "Oops is never good. I had to get the roots of a tooth drilled out. My dentist just did it." Ooh, isn't that a root canal? When they do that, or
root canal is where which I've had.
Oh, you've had everything.
They drill a hole into your tooth, right, and take all the roots out of your tooth.
Oh,
right, and the whole tooth stays in there, and then they fill it up with fake stuff.
Oh, okay.
And
Silly putty.
Yeah.
But well,
I've had 2 of those done.
But anyways, these are the things you have to go through, I guess, to keep yourself in good health. Well, other things too. So this was the week of appointments for me. I had dentist on Monday, and on Thursday I had an ophthalmologist appointment to check my usual every 18 months check your eyes. You see, here in Ontario, it used to be you could go every year and have your eyes tested, and it didn't cost you anything for the eye exam. Well, that's still true, except they made the time period longer. So now it's every 18 months, a year and a half. So I went in, and I haven't had any problem with my eyes, but I was kind of figuring, well, I might have to have a prescription change, slight prescription change on these glasses. And if so, I thought maybe I'd look into getting new frames. But I really love these frames. And I've had them for
Oh, wow.
Like about 4 years, I would say. Maybe it's been longer. I don't know how time flies when you have fun. I don't. Did I get them during COVID or before COVID?
I can't
Jeez,
remember. It was a little while ago.
I can't remember. But I love these frames because they're acrylic, and they're clear, and I really like these frames. So I didn't know if I could get something that was comparable to these. I want to see if I could get the lighter frames and the whole bit. But I knew that it was going to cost me probably around $1,200 to $1,300 by the time with the lenses and with the frames and everything like that for it. And yes, that is very expensive. And yes, I could get them cheaper, but it's really not the frames that cost me. It's my lenses. These are progressives, I guess, and they're also computer, and I don't know, and they've got anti-glare, they've got, I don't know, all kinds of things. They light up at night and tell you the time. I don't know, not quite. So, and, in a way, I didn't really want to spend the money for it because glasses are not covered. I mean, in our insurance, I think we get about, $350 every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Towards it, well, $350 doesn't even put a dent into what the glasses cost. But when I went in, he said, well, there's really no change in your prescription. He says, I'll write you out the one in case you want to get new glasses or anything. And he does but I do have to, so I don't have to pay for the eye exam, but I do have to pay for this special little device they have that takes a picture of the back of your eyeball. And again, they always recommend you have that done for $55.
I have to check. I haven't seen.
Yeah, see if our insurance give me back the money on that.
I mean, our Ontario medical plan lets you have an eye check every 18 months. So
yeah. So anyways, he looked at it, and my mother had glaucoma. So they put me on the list of, because glaucoma, apparently, I think it can be hereditary. So they always watch for that. So that's another reason why they like to take the picture of the back of the eyeball. So I got to see the back of my eyeball.
I get those for free.
Why do you get those for free?
Because they keep testing me for glaucoma. Remember, I'm going to the eye surgeon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, figures.
Yeah, at least you don't have to do that.
Yeah, well. Anyways, but my eyes are healthy, so that's a good thing. I can't see without my glasses. Well, I can see. I can see distance. I just can't see up there. It's kind of neat, though, when you see those little pictures of it, because he says, now notice he says there's a couple of look like reflections in each of your eye. He says, those are the lenses from when you had your cataract surgery that are in your eyes. They're just reflecting light back. And I went, ooh, glow in the dark. Okay.
The only time eye tests are free, I think, here is if you're senior, right?
Yes.
And
if you're over 65.
Yeah, and
I think it's free for kids too.
Free for kids too, yeah.
So up to a certain
the people
age.
in the middle get screwed.
Yeah, typical in our country. If you're in the middle of everything, like middle class, whatever, you get screwed over.
I mean, the eye tests are, even when you have to pay for them, they're not terrible. So, and glasses you have to pay for.
Well, yeah, that's for sure.
But if you have an eye condition like glaucoma, or if you have another kind of eye condition, then your tests are free, and then your special tests, like the ones he said, where you get the back of the eye done and stuff, if you have a medical problem, then everything else is covered. So.
Yeah. Just looking up here.
Actually, it's not because I'm diabetic. It's because I'm getting tested because I failed one of my glaucoma tests.
Yeah, he's not diabetic. He's pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
Actually, all pre-diabetic means is the fact that the doctor's watching his sugar levels or whatever that is.
I mean, the last time I was in getting my sugar levels were really good. They were like 4.7. So.
Well, it should be. You don't eat sugar. That's why I never get pie anymore. Zaza says, long gone are the days when no one questions the doctor. Yeah, well, you got to be your own advocate, too. But, we were all raised, our generation, that, doctors knew because that's why you went to a doctor. A doctor was trained and everything like that. I don't know. You know, you never get to see a doctor's report card, do you? You don't know whether you got the one that was
Yeah, you
top
don't
of his
know if
class
the
or at the
guy.
bottom.
Yeah, the guy was knew what he was doing, or
Yeah.
just squeaked by.
Zaza says the eye tests are free in Scotland. Glasses aren't. Kids get a voucher towards the cost of glasses. Okay. And Inez says not free here. Yeah, ours are each province is a little different.
Yeah, it's provincial.
Yeah.
When he got his cataract surgery done, he got implants put in.
Yeah. Well, what are you answering Zaza?
No, inappropriate Quilter. Did they?
That's Zaza.
Yeah, yeah.
Did they not fix your eyesight when you had your cataract surgery? Yeah, it was fixed. I had my prescription put in my eyes and my lenses, but you have a choice. You can either have lenses put in that allow you to see distances, or you can have lenses put in that let you see close up, like for reading, you know, this kind of thing. He recommended at the time that he said, are you still driving? Yes, I'm still driving. I was 55 when I had it done. So, I mean, I was relatively young for a cataract surgery, but I had a very aggressive type of cataracts, apparently. And I said, well, no, I'd rather, you know, I want to be able to see distances. So that's why I have these, because I take those off. And right now, of course, it takes a while for my eyes to get adjusted, but I can't read this at all, actually. But if it was out about 10 feet away, I could read it with no problem. So, yeah, and I've become very reliant on these. I have them on all the time because I'm always looking at a computer screen or at a sewing machine and something like that. And I was a little worried when I went in that might have been having an effect on my eyesight, but apparently not. It's just in my head. So I'm not getting new glasses. Not right now. I'm fine.
Yeah, like his lenses for looking far away are pretty much clear.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, my eyesight's bad. But I wear contact lenses.
Yeah. Charlotte says the picture of the back of the eye looks like an egg yolk. Yeah, it does.
And my I wear one that's strong for distance and one that's weaker so that I can read.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would be nice if you could have put in your eyes, you know, so that you don't need glasses at all, but it doesn't work that way. But I will say this about having cataract surgery. One, if you are at that stage in your life where you may be coming up to needing to have it done, don't be afraid of it. There is nothing to it. It is so easy. In fact, when they told me I was going to have this done, I just assumed they were going to use a laser, because isn't that what you do? And they went, oh no, we don't use a laser. We cut. I went, oh nope. But there was nothing to it. Nothing to it at all. Now they do give you a little bit of a relaxer, and they do kind of like give you something. They put some drops in your eyes to sort of freeze your eyeball so it doesn't move around all the time. Yeah, I mean, nothing like a man holding a scalpel over your eyeballs trying to find where it's going, you know. Missed that one. Oh, God. Yeah, we know a plastic surgeon. He can fix your nose now. That kind of thing. But nope, there was nothing to it. And yeah, what I remember of it, like, you're not asleep, but they get in there. It took 7 minutes per eye to do it. And I didn't have both eyes done at once. They don't usually do both eyes at once. I had to go back. I don't know how long ago,
It wasn't, there was only a few weeks in between.
So yeah, between when I had the other eye done. But I do remember, though, when they took out the lens kind of thing, you saw pretty colors. Like, it was psychedelic. Of course, they do give you a bit of a relaxer, too. So it's kind of like, ooh, pretty colors in here. But yeah, it was a breeze. I say it's the best thing that I have ever had done, because I have worn corrective lenses in one form or another since I was 11 years old. And even then, I should have had them before that, but no one figured out that I couldn't see anything. And in fact, it was a teacher at the school said to my parents or something when I was in grade 6 or something, when was the last time you had his eyes checked? Because I think he's having trouble. I didn't know the difference. That. And So they took me to the eye doctor, and they went, "Holy hell, the kid's blind." But so yeah. But
You know,
anyways,
I can't see much if I take my contacts out, so sort of
yeah.
like grope around.
Um, and Zaza says, I'm the opposite. My varifocals are clear on the bottom for sewing. Yeah, that's the one thing about these I have not yet been able to get used to, and I've had these for a while, as I said, that the different levels in them. Um, so I haven't figured it out.
Yeah, if I take my contacts out, and if I was going in and trying to fix a watch or something like that, if I take my contacts out, I can see super clear, really close up. And that's one of the reasons why I've never gone for or even asked about laser surgery, because I'll lose that ability to do that, and I don't like that. And I'm much prefer wearing the contacts and dealing with that. Then and then when eventually I have to get cataract surgery, I'll have corrected lenses put in.
Yeah, Zaza says her sister had bad eyesight, needed cataract surgery in her early 50s. Now she just needs reading glasses. Yeah, well, that's basically what these are. These are reading glasses. Gloria says, I have astigmatism that they couldn't quite correct when I had my cataract surgery, so I still have to wear glasses. Well, I haven't heard of anybody who has cataract surgery that doesn't have to have glasses for either distance or for close up. I had astigmatism as well. I don't know if they can correct astigmatism. Maybe with laser surgery.
Yeah, they can do that with laser
I don't
surgery. They can do that with your implanted lenses too. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, since I've had mine, that was like over 10 years ago, kind of a thing. They have come a long way. They can do a lot more now with them too. So, yeah. Dubrovka said we both had cataracts done 2 weeks ago with a laser, no pain, no relaxant, perfect operation. So they did use a laser on you. Okay, at the time I was doing it, they weren't using a laser. So, but like I said,
I
that
think
was
the
15
one,
years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it was.
But you had the
changed.
secondary cataract.
Yes, I
they
had
the
that. They used
laser.
a laser on that. You have they sort of call them secondary cataracts, but they're really not cataracts. It's just your eyes are fighting the implants, and so they sort of attack it, and it gets a film over your eye, and they just go in, and it's kind of an in and out kind of thing. You're not even in an operating room. You just go in. It looks like an eye doctor's office, and he puts the same thing on your face like you do when they're checking the lenses, and he gets out his little laser thing like he's playing Space Invaders, and zaps you. All you see is little red dots all over the place, and then you're in and out, no problem. Denise says the sad thing is that a cataract surgery can give you perfect version. Insurance won't pay for it. It's the doctors don't ask. Yeah, that's true, because it can get real pricey.
In Canada, your surgery is free, but your lenses are optional.
Yeah, I had to pay, I think, $250 for each lens at the time. But now I've heard that it's more like several thousand. So depending on what you have put in. Cataract surgery starts to wane after about 10 years. May need to do again, Denise says.
Not if you have it implanted, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you have the secondary cataract.
Yeah, the secondary ones.
Well, what happen is what they do is they put a lens in, right, into the pocket where your other lens, where your natural lens is. And what can happen is the pocket behind your lens can begin to fog up. And if that happens, then they have to laser surgery your eyes and get rid of that pocket.
And that's basically what's happening.
That's what Steve had to have that done pretty quick after this first surgery.
Yeah. But I don't know now. I mean, I haven't kept up with what's going on in the cataract surgery world. So who knows? I don't know for sure about any of that anymore. And Sherry says they replaced my lenses, which corrected it. Yeah. Betty has the same problem. Joanne says, my husband doesn't have glasses after cataract, but my brother does for astigmatism. Yeah, I guess it may depend on... See, I had astigmatism.
Yeah, see, I have very, very mild astigmatism, but there was one point in time in my 20s where I was diagnosed with very strong astigmatism, and it seemed to get better, so...
Yeah. Well, Charlotte says her son had cataract surgery at 5 years of age. Wow. And faces is called scar tissue, the secondary surgery. Yeah, okay. I think I had heard
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Um, but it's very common to have that
Yeah.
afterwards, according to what I was told, anyways, at the time.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, my eyes are healthy, and that's a good thing. But I'm not getting any new glasses, so that's good. Let's see. We talked about Walter putting up the Christmas lights, but he also was fighting this week with the outdoor lights. He bought 3 new outdoor lights from Amazon. And how long did you spend on that one that would not cooperate?
The first one I put up, and I couldn't get it to work. And I was checking my wiring. The wiring was okay. Everything was okay. All the power was going to it. It had an electric eye on it that's supposed to turn on at night. And I covered up the electric eye. Nothing would come on. I was checking to make sure I had the right light bulbs and everything. I just couldn't get it to work. Then I took a second one of the 3 that I had, and I put it up, no problem.
Okay. He makes it sound like his was very methodical about. No, it wasn't. There was a lot of cursing and swearing. And I said to him, well, maybe the light is defective. I said,
You didn't say that.
I did. I did. And I said, why don't you try one of the other ones out of the box and put that up and see what happens? And guess what? That light was defective. So you send it back to Amazon.
I sent it back. They gave me a refund, and I ordered another one. So hopefully that one will be okay.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, there was that. I love the way you tell a story. Whatever. So Walter's being social tomorrow. He's going out, as I already said, with his girls.
2, 3 other ladies that I worked with fairly closely. We hung around together, and so we go a couple of times a year for lunch and catch up on what's going on in our lives.
Yeah, and even though he's been retired, how long have you been retired now?
Let me see. It would be 7 years, I think.
7 years. He still gets together with people that he used to work with.
Just these 3.
When I retired, that's it. I have not seen any of those people in 13 years. We used to all hang around and used to go to things and the whole bit. And it's like they're all working still. Well, I was older than some of them. But yeah, it's like, no, you don't exist anymore. But there's one in particular individual in this group who I worked with for years, and she's moved her way up into the ranks now as a principal and a whole bit. And yeah, she doesn't give me the time of day. We used to have these what we used to call gang dinners. There was a group of us, kind of a thing, and we'd switch people's houses throughout the year, try to coordinate them. Well, she keeps saying, oh, we should do this. And I go, sure, fine. Pick a date. I'm pretty flexible. We're pretty flexible.
Yeah, technically it's their turn.
Yeah, it's their turn a couple of times because we did it several times in a row. But yeah, she's important. What she's going to find out is because she's getting very close to retirement. She's going to find out something. You may have risen up to the top and you've become a principal in the whole bit, but nobody gives a shit once you retire about that. So enjoy your popularity and your importantness, if that's a word, now while you can, because after you're gone, they don't care. So no, nobody invites me to anything. But Walter's very social. Of course, I make their lovely little gifts for them and everything. And he'll want to waltz in with his little bags that are all foo-fooed nicely. And don't crush them. I spent time foo-fooing. And they'll, oh, Walter, you're so good.
Actually, the retro cat shirt's, what do you call it? Spoonflower print.
What this one is? Yeah. Yeah, it's a spoonflower print. Walter's got another project. It was his idea. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't say it, didn't think about it, whatever. We're going off to the fabric store on Tuesday because Walter wants to get Christmas fabric to make us Christmas shirts. There's a lot of things you have to get done before Christmas.
Yeah, well, I'll get them done.
Yeah, well, I've heard that before. Like you got to get up my quilt wall.
Yeah, I know.
That's
we'll
important.
Get that up.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We'll get it up.
So get it up, yeah. So I have planned it, and Walter will be doing it. I've decided that I want my quilts on the wall, but not hanging from the wall. I want sort of like the idea of a quilt ladder, except it's going to be curtain rods. I got, nice curtain rods. That'll be,
What are unnice curtain yards?
well, they're not those cheap like ones that are going to bend.
Okay.
They're substantial. And they got finials on the ends of them and everything like
fine.
that. That's a new word I just learned at finial. I like that finial. Finial and Casey, but only Canadians would get that reference. So yeah, and I bought 9 of them because these walls, like those mirrors that are three mirrors in one, they fold out, kind of a deal. That's how this wall is, because it's sort of an alcove or a bump out. I guess we call it a bump out down here in our rec room, which right now has some old pictures on it and a big clock that doesn't really, well, it does work. I just never put a battery in it, kind of thing. I thought that'll look very nice. Of course, there was
the Christmas lights on where the quilts on either side, and leave the clock in the middle.
no.
That was my idea.
Yeah, it was your idea. It sucks. No. I say no. Plus, I already bought the 3 curtain rods. For
Okay, fine.
No, not this time. No. I put my foot down. No. So, and if you hold off doing it, I will just do it
I
myself.
know. Yeah, I know.
And we will
Screw up
have
the
a
wall.
brand new window in there. So, yeah, no. My foot is
I have
down.
to get some plugs, so I'll go get them tomorrow.
So, anyways, yeah, that's another project. So other projects we've got. Christmas Day. Oh, another thing on your list. You got to call your sister
Yes, I do. Yeah,
to find out. I have to know
I will do
numbers
it this week
because
I will
we
do
need
it,
to
yeah.
get our bird
Yeah.
and all that stuff planned out. And for that, so we see how many we're actually going to have here for Christmas dinner. So all of that's in process. And on top of that, I have all those gift bags for the ladies at Ultimate Sewing to get the, I mean, they're all done. I've got everything made. I just have to foo-foo them. That reminds me, I may need more tissue for fooing. I like to do a thick foo-foo. Yeah. They're like, I don't like one cheap piece of tissue hanging out of it. I like to really fluff it up.
I don't know how to do that.
It's not brain surgery.
I don't do foo-foos.
The trick is you lay the tissue out, it's full length, and then you pinch the center, and you go, boop, and then plop.
Okay.
And you plop them many times over. So you have a big plop all in the middle of the bag. It's all foo-fooed nicely. So yeah, I got to do that. And then we have people coming in another, a week from this weekend. We have guests coming, our friends from Toronto. So we have to get things ready for that as well. It is a busy time of year. Yeah, it is. Maybe we should have gone away. Because the last 2 years we've been away at Christmas.
We made plans to go away, and then we went but sure, we said, actually, I look forward to being here this year because, well, other than the fact that we're having all these people over, because I don't like really going away that time of year that much. Well, I don't know. Maybe if we went to a resort somewhere, we've done that before.
We have done that before. Yeah, but oh well. We kind of have to do it. I feel obligated with my sister because she has us all the time over to her place for dinner on all the major holidays and whatnot, or not even on the holidays, just she feels like we should come over. So I feel like we need to do this with her as well. So we are. It'll be fine. I'll be sore the next day, up and down those bloody stairs. So the plans for Christmas Day are coming along. Today I made a list and I'm checking it twice. But then I got thinking about some other things. I'm a planner. And I like to do special things. So, Pop-Up Sew Day, the next one. I did sort of an informal little survey with the people. We're at the pop-up so day yesterday, and I think I'm going to have one. It's not written in stone yet, but it's pretty close. Concrete's drying on it. December the 20th. Now, I know that's 5 days before Christmas Day, and people might be really busy. But from what I gather, a lot of people aren't that busy, you know. So anyways, I think I will have one on December the 20th. Then I am seriously considering having something that we did a few years ago.
Probably around COVID time.
Yeah, it was probably around COVID time. And then we went and did Dahlonega there the last 2 years and that, so never did it again. So I'm thinking about revising it again, or reviving it again. And that's to have a Christmas Eve, the Idiot Quilter Christmas Eve social, which basically is just a couple of hours. You come along, it'll be on Zoom. It's not really a sew day, but if you wanted to sew during it, you could. But we're just going to socialize, maybe play a game or two, just, some Christmas cheer. Because there are a lot of people out there that are alone at Christmas. And it's a sad time of year to be alone for that. So we're not going anywhere on Christmas Eve. So I thought we could do this, for everybody. And we'll only do it for, it'd be a couple of hours long, maybe from 7 to 9 o'clock or something like that on Christmas Eve. Then I am definitely thinking of having a New Year's Day pop-up sew day. Because everything's closed on New Year's Day anyways. At least it is around here for us. And we don't do anything on New Year's Day. And we don't do anything for New Year's Eve, basically. I mean, try to stay up to see the fireworks.
Yeah, we used to go a long time ago. We'd go to a New Year's Eve party or something like that. But the last one we went to, we didn't have a good time at. And so we decided not to go again.
Yeah. So,
and the last couple of New Year's Eves, we were away at a retreat, and that was okay, but it wasn't really.
Nah, it wasn't that much fun, really. Well, that was because the person.
Well, last year it wasn't much fun.
No, the year before it was a little better, but last year the host of it didn't host it. I mean, basically, Walter and I did.
Yeah, we
bought shampoo or shampoo. We bought champagne. Yes, we did everybody's hair. No. Yeah, well, we bought the very best you could get at Walmart. But we still have a bottle of that.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so I'm fine staying home this New Year's Eve. I'm happy that we're home, so.
Yeah. So anyways, I did think about maybe doing something on New Year's Eve, a lot, but I thought, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll just leave it quiet, go and do,
it won't be like New Year's Eve in Australia, but.
No, nothing ever. That was we probably peaked at that one. So anyways, those are the tentative plans. So pop-up sew day on the 20th, New Year's Eve social or Christmas Eve social, and then a pop-up sew day on January the 1st. I will send out stuff and I will announce it all on the channel in plenty of time so everybody will know for sure if that's happening. And if you're on the mailing list, you'll get information about it as well when it comes closer to those time periods. Now that reminded me of one other thing too. Oh yeah, we're planning to go to the club where we haven't been in years because a friend of ours that we know does drag, and his drag name is basically Twiggy, because he's a very tall and skinny guy. So we're thinking of doing that. We'll have to figure out what we're going to do as far as transportation.
Well, we'll just drive down there. I'll have one beer and then have a club soda.
Yeah, well, I'll probably only have one beer too. Oh, we're so much fun. I'll just have a beer, honey. That'll do me fine that evening. I'm old, Where's my cane? So, yeah. So there's lots of things coming up, I guess, when you don't think there was. So, speaking of Christmas dinner. Okay, I have a plan for it and everything like that. And we always do the majority of the cooking the day before. But then what does Walter do? He sends me this link. Oh, well, you know, Farm Boy, which is
It's a supermarket.
yeah, it's a supermarket, but it's kind of a little more higher end.
Yeah.
It's that. Well, you can order Christmas dinner for 6 to 8 for $200. Includes a turkey and all the sides and stuff like that. Which actually for $200 doesn't sound bad. I question whether or not it would actually serve 6 to 8, but we're gonna have more people than that or whatever. But then the gears start going in my
Well,
head.
no, I sent it to you because we were talking about it. Remember we were talking about it last week here?
You expect me to remember last week?
Oh, God.
I don't remember this morning. So yeah, I don't. It's not a bad idea, but the thing is, we're gonna have more people than that, and so
Still takes you 2 hours to heat it up.
yeah, you still got to heat it all up and everything like that. I mean, we only have one oven, so
That's assuming you need the oven to heat it up. So,
well, I guess I don't know.
I mean, we heat up a lot of stuff in the microwave.
Well, that's true, but whatever. Well, we're not doing it. We prepare the bulk of it the day before, anyways, and then just heat it up.
Yeah,
like
that
the
way
turkey
we can
and
socialize with
Yeah.
our guests, and then the actual cooking of it has already been done.
yeah. So yeah, that's our plan for this year. I just have to figure out how I'm going to seat everybody. I sort of have a plan for that. Okay, so changing the topics completely from what we've been doing. So we had an interesting week in Canada. It could have been more interesting, but thank God it wasn't. We had our budget put out, the federal budget, and
Which is for all of Canada.
for all of Canada. And the thing with the budget, how it works here in Canada is, of course, they present the party in power presents the budget in the legislature, and then they have to vote on it. And if the opposition and others vote it down, then we go to election, because that's called a no confidence vote, and it means Parliament gets dissolved and we have to have an election. Not a good time right now to have an election, because we just had one back earlier this year. Was it this year? Yeah, it was this year, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Carney
so.
got
Yeah,
in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and our elections, unlike the elections that happen in the United States, don't go on for months and months and months. They have like about 6 weeks. So we would be going to the polls at Christmas or shortly thereafter, and nobody wants to do that. But luckily, it went through.
It squeaked through.
It squeaked through. Yeah. And so that's good, because the opposition are led by an idiot who's kind of a mini Trump. And if he thinks that if he defeated the government and we have an election, he's going to become the next prime minister. And that's all he wants. He doesn't care about the people of Canada, not unlike Trump. And he hasn't got a clue about what's going on in the world or about platforms or anything. He's a professional politician. He's never had a real job in his life. He has a minimal amount of education, just like Trump. So yeah. So it would be disastrous if he ever became prime minister of this country. And luckily, there isn't going to be an election. So
Not yet, anyway.
not yet. Yeah. So hopefully our prime minister now will get on the ball. He's been traveling the world, making trade deals for this and that, which is something Canada should have done a long time ago. But our neighbors to the south were convenient for most businesses. And we had it pretty good for many, many years, with the trade and everything back and forth. It's only now that, yeah. So some of these businesses should have diversified their portfolio a little bit more, but they didn't. And now they're crying the blues. And it's up to our current government to do what they can do to get us out of this mess as best they can. So time will tell. So speaking of our neighbors to the south and everything like that, 'tis the time of year when the snowbirds flock together and travel to the south. If you don't know what a snowbird is, it's what we call Canadians, usually retired Canadians, who travel down to warmer climes like Arizona, Florida, Southern California, and winter down there for like 4 months or so out of the year. Many times these people have properties that they have bought, invested in down there as well, and they go every year. And they are part of communities that are there. They have friends there, things like that. And they look forward to this every year. And that was not a problem until now. So I was watching something on YouTube that was put out by called TV Ontario. TV Ontario is sort of an educational television station. It's kind of equivalent to a certain degree to PBS, that kind of thing, to public broadcasting. It's funded by the government, but the government doesn't really control it. And they have this one show where basically they talk to people about their feelings about certain issues. So they had staged this particular episode in a shopping mall here in Ontario, and they had an audience, a live audience, and they had a couple of guest, speakers to talk about what are snowbirds going to do this year. And it was very, very enlightening. And I highly recommend, if you're interested, to watch it or watch part of it. It runs an hour, but you don't have to watch the whole thing. You get the feel for it. And when I say you, I mean Americans, but the Canadians should watch it too, because it really shows you how we are feeling right now in this time. And they were talking about reasons to go and not to go as a snowbird to the States, because a lot of snowbirds have decided they are not going this year at all. And that's a big decision because many of them own property. And, they've got to pay whatever, probably taxes on it, other things in the whole bit. And so not to go is going to cost them money, but this is how they feel. So they talked about this, and these two guest speakers they had one that was sort of sitting on the fence, talking about, well, maybe you should go and not worry about it. The other one was very, don't go. And so I kind of took notes. And so we thought we'd discuss our notes about this. And this is going to give you a feel for how we as a country, as people, are feeling right now. So the reasons not to go. First reason is safety. This lady said, you might poo-pah that as Americans, but not us as Canadians. We do not feel safe traveling in the States. We don't intend to travel in the States anytime soon. Not as long as the Great Pumpkin is in power there or whatever. And why don't we feel safe? We don't feel safe because your gun laws are different from ours. Some states, you can pack a concealed weapon. You don't know who's got one of those. You don't know their temperament. You don't want to get into any kind of argument because they might shoot you. Now, is this true or not? Not sure, but that's how we feel. Also, there's a lot more Americans than Canadians. And when Americans come together as a group, they're scary. Okay? As individuals, not so, but as a group. So right now, and also down in the southern part of the United States more than everything, that's red country. And you got to watch what you would say. I mean, you're not going to go down there if you're smart and start mean-mouthing Trump in amongst his followers. I don't think that's a good, bad combination. Mean-mouth Trump, people with guns. Not going to work out well. So that was one thing they brought up, was the safety. They also said we need to send a message by not going down there to the Americans about how we feel. Because, especially in the southern United States, Americans really don't know much about us as Canadians or how we feel. In fact, they have a very, I don't know what you would call it, attitude towards us. It's like, they're nothing. In fact, one person stood up and said that his daughter, who was Canadian, she had dual citizenship, she's lived in Florida for a long, long time, basically considers herself more American than Canadian. She turned around and said to her father, well, Canadians are nasty from that little 2-bit country. Well, there were a lot of people in the audience on that show, and anybody watching it that's Canadian, the hair stood on end on our arms and the whole bit, because that is not true. Although there are some politicians in the southern United States and Trump himself who think we're nasty people. Well, if you threaten us, what do you expect us to be? We're not going to always say sorry. That's a stereotype. We've discussed that before. And the third reason is they're bullying us, the red states. And so why should we go down and support their state with our money? Our dollars going to them. Why? Florida makes a lot of money from the Snowbirds with, in their tax base and the whole bit. Why should we support bullies? Because that's what this lady was saying. We need to support our own country first, our economy. And that's what our prime minister is doing right now with making trade deals and things with, he was over in Saudi Arabia earlier this week, and that he's been to China, and that he's trying to make deals. The Swedish king and queen were here as well. So he's trying to diversify our portfolio. Also, the United States right now is not a stable country. And I don't think anybody disagrees with that. Things are happening on a daily basis that are make even Americans stand up and go, this is nuts. So why should we enter into a country where you don't feel safe and where things are not stable? You don't know, you don't know if you're going to be able to get back home. You may not even get in because now they're doing the fingerprinting and everything else. Apparently, of course, that's if you're going to stay more than 30 days. Well, Snowbirds stay there for several months. So, then there's other places Snowbirds can spend their money. If they really want to go to warm climates, there's all kinds of other places in the world. There's Mexico. There's
any Caribbean island.
Yeah, all that. It's there. And probably we'll get more bang for the Canadian buck in some of those places.
Right now, our dollar is quite low, and it is quite expensive to when you're getting hotel rooms and meals and food in the U.S. I mean, last year when we went to Dahlonega or whatever, even shopping in the grocery store, your grocery prices are the same as our prices, but in American dollars, which is 40% more than what we pay up here.
Yeah, so there's other places they can spend their money and get more bang for their buck.
Yeah, like go to Mexico or go somewhere else.
Now there were reasons to go though, because this is not a cut and dry kind of situation for some people. One of the reasons is, well, what we just said, getting out of the cold for older people is appealing. That's why they went south.
No snow shoveling.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about the winter. And they've made friends down there, and they may even have relatives down there. That's their time to visit with those people.
Yeah, and people that do have families that are in the U.S., and they may want to go visit their families. So
yeah, and basically what they're saying too is they don't have a problem with the people of the U.S. The problem is the governments. It's not the average person that we as Canadians have a problem with, the average American. They're just people, just like us. The problem is the government. Now, it's not most of the people of the United States' fault for putting Trump in. And in fact, it's the whole system, how the system worked that allowed him to get in the first place. So we as Canadians,
and probably the average person that voted for him didn't see all the things that were going to
No,
happen.
because he couldn't predict it all. So we do not hate Americans as people at all. It's the situation that we don't like. So, and keeping that in mind, some of these snowbirds are thinking that and going, because they've got friends, they have relatives there that they want to see. And, their fight isn't with those people.
Well, not only that, some of them are older and they don't know how many more years they can go down.
And that's what they said. And some of them, they own property, they own real estate, they may have owned real estate down there for years because they've been going down, and so it's costing them one way or another. So even if they don't go, it doesn't mean it's still not costing them, because it is, because there'll be fees that they have to pay depending on what their situation is and the whole bit. It's not a freebie at all. So all those things have to be taken into consideration. So that was the other flip of the coin. And then they did a survey of the audience and asked them, and most of those people were the age of snowbirds, and most of them were snowbirds as well. And they asked them, how many people are planning to go to the States as they always have this winter? Not very many. The commentator, or the moderator of the discussion, turned around and he said, about 85% of you have said no, you're not going. So that shows you the attitude. They could lose some money on this deal too, but they're not taking the chance on that. So another thing that came up in this is, okay, the economy. Do snowbirds really have any kind of effect on the economy of the United States? And the answer to that was yes. Small businesses, though. The big corporations, this doesn't hurt it. The snowbirds don't go south. But the little community shops that depend on the snowbirds the little corner stores, the little businesses, the little family-run restaurants and things like that, they will suffer from this because they're depending on that to get them through the latter part of the year and into the new year because of the snowbirds' dollars. So yeah, it does have an effect, but the overall effect on the U.S. economy is nothing. They had a percentage for it. It was something like I don't know if it's like 1 point something percent of the entire economy of the United States is affected by what the snowbirds spent. So that's not a major consideration. However, places like Florida, they said, subsidize their taxes with the money that is brought in to Florida. And this was according to the governor of Florida. So that would mean that without the snowbirds going to Florida anyways, that means more tax money has to come from the permanent residents, from the Americans.
Well, I also think that it's not just the snowbirds. There's a lot of people, regular people, that travel for 1 or 2 weeks that aren't going.
Oh yeah, that's all.
And then there's also a lot of Europeans and people that are coming from other countries that have stopped coming. So all that combined, there's a lot of problem. There's a lot of negative.
And Barb says, aren't the airlines suffering from less passengers flying to the U.S.? Yes, they are.
Yeah, actually, I think Air Canada and WestJet have reduced the number of flights down south.
To the south. Yeah, they are suffering from that. And tourism is suffering in general as well. People are not, they're going to different places. See Canada first. In fact, there's a big advertising campaign out right now on our local television networks and radio stations and that about the beauty of Canada. See your own country. And people are deciding to go to Europe or other places as well. So yeah, it is having an effect. It's still going to take some time to see if it has a major effect, enough of effect. But will it make any difference? Will the people in power in the United States really care? Because they don't care about anything else. So yeah, but I just found it kind of interesting. So as far as I'm concerned, though, the bottom line is this. For whatever reason, somebody who's a snowbird decides they're going to go to the United States this year or whatever, however long this will ever lasts, I say they're a traitor to our country. You are not supporting Canada. The money you're spending down there could be spent in our own economy. And we need the money too. And what does this say about your loyalty? There was an older couple. Well, they were all older in the audience, but they were all seniors. There was this couple right at the beginning of the show. They panned across the audience, and they were both wearing a Blue Jays sweatshirt, right? Yay, Blue Jays, apparently. And you could just see the look on their face was that they're going. And they got up and they spoke. Well, you know something? I really think they should move to the United States permanently, because they're probably conservatives. Because they were just, the stuff that came out of their mouth about it was shameful. It was shameful. They were not supporting our country. How can you live here and not support your own country? Really? We have a good country. We have a good life in this country. And it's being threatened right now. So snowbirds, stay home. Why not try the snow for a change? You may not have seen it in a few years. There it is. Or go someplace else then. Spend your dollars somewhere else, but spend it in Canada first. Come to Southern Ontario. It's warm. Go to Victoria. It's warm. Sort of. Not Florida warm, but, less snow. But anyways, I thought it was a really interesting show. And I guess the bottom line of all of this is that, and this is what they said on the show too, is people are people. Whether you're an American or you're Canadian or whatever. It's the politicians who are fear-mongering us all. That's what this one old guy got and says, oh, it'll pass. These things come and go. Don't worry about it. No, I think this is a little different situation than what we've ever had before. So, yeah, go bury your head back in the hole. And he said it was all relative. Nah, it's not relative. And that's actually one of the presenters, the lady who was there. She says, oh no, this is not relative. This is not normal. And and I thought that was great. I think that made him poop his diaper when she stood up to him. But I think the bottom line is Americans are not our enemies, not the people. Not the people. It's the government. And our government's in there too. And we're all puppets in this. We're all caught in the middle of this, Americans and Canadians alike. So, when this all started, I had a real hate on for Americans in general. I still won't travel into the States. But
actually, even before all this has occurred, Stephen and I have never felt comfortable traveling in the United States. That's just my own point of view.
Yeah.
I've just never felt comfortable. It's one of the only few countries I've been to that bothers me. And I think it has to do with the guns. Denise said something up in here that said, however, as an American, I am not any safer than you are when it comes to someone using a gun. That is true.
That is true.
But we're not used to that environment.
No.
You live in that environment, so you're used to it, but we're not.
Yeah. Barb says, my daughter was in Orlando just this past week. She is flying back to Calgary as we speak. I wonder what her impression is of how she was received. They talked about that in this show as well. And they said a lot of the people said they would run into Americans who would just go, when they found out they were from Canada, they would say, we're sorry. We're really sorry about the situation. And and I think a lot of Americans are. In fact, I think the majority are. It's the vocal minority, the rednecks out there that are, the loudest, and that's what we're hearing. So it's another reason why we as people shouldn't hate American people. Barb says, my brother who owns a place in Arizona decided to visit his daughter in Australia instead. Yeah, Australia's great. And it's their summer. So yeah,
And it's less expensive.
yeah. Uh, and Carol says the YouTube channel Guard the Leaf, which belongs to a Canadian, has many interesting reports about the loss of tourist dollars in the United States, especially Florida. Yeah, there's lots of channels on YouTube that are
Yeah, you got to watch
Canadians.
what you're watching, though. There's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, you
It's
got to be
garbage.
selective. Iser's here. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm not expecting snowbirds or visitors. Bad international relations, ridiculous resort fees, and transportation problems.
You're in Las Vegas.
She's in
aren't
Las
you?
Vegas. Yeah, we've heard that about Las Vegas.
Yeah, that they have high resort fees and that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been to Las Vegas a couple of times, but not for a while.
No. In fact, the other day on Wednesday, one of the people there is going to a retreat in the summer, and she said, "You guys should come too." And I said, "We would like to, but no, we can't. We just can't." It has nothing to do with who would be at the retreat or anything like that. It just has to do with this whole situation. I mean, then we become traitors as well. I mean, that's why back in the spring, when we were supposed to go to a retreat and I was supposed to be teaching at it, that I agonized over whether or not we should really go at that point in time. And that was in April. And I decided, no, we're not going. And we didn't. And I mean, I was looking forward to it at the time, and I really felt that I was letting people down, but I have to stick to my country. You got to be loyal to it. You just cannot mamby-pamby away. And this issue is bigger than any individual. This is a major thing. So, if each of us within both of our countries, okay, if we do what we can do to correct this situation, no matter how small it does, if we all did it, it adds up to big things, to big gains, big effect on it all. So anyways, yeah, watch it. I've put the link in the show notes. I think you'll find it really interesting. At least I did. Darcy says, there's always been the loud minority. Don't stop yourself from covering the U.S. based on fear, but I totally understand and support the boycott aspect. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're not going to be going for quite some time. Not sure when we'll ever get back down to the States. To be honest about it, I'd rather go to Europe. So, yep. England. England's nice. Love it. Wet. Drizzly this time of year, but any time of year. Anyways, so that's it for us today. Thanks for joining us. And tune in for...
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, have a great Thanksgiving. All of you. Gobble, gobble with it. And we'll see you all real soon. So have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Yep. Bye-bye.